Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody, to our July 31st Board of Trustees meeting. Mr. Meyer, would you call the roll call, please?
Absolutely. Trustee Siamaka?
Here.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Here.
Trustee Heigl?
Present. All right, thank you. And I'll pass this on to you, Pat, because we're starting with public comment.
Sure. First off, there was some feedback to me about public comment being early in the meeting. It's very common in local government. Public comment is one of the first things that happen because people want to comment and not stay for all the other stuff. And that's why, based on my experience in other places, that's been put to the beginning. The agenda coming out early should give folks an opportunity to see what's on the agenda if they want to speak on those matters. And if something changes, we can change it. For now, it'll be the beginning, and that's why. And we do welcome public comment and wish to convey that message to everyone. We value your views and appreciate your feedback. This is your chance to share compliments, concerns, or any thoughts you wish to express. Public comments for a period not to exceed 30 minutes per meeting. Residents or guests wishing to speak will be required to sign in on the sign-in sheet, which everybody does. Appreciate that. Each person will be given 3 minutes to express their compliment or concern. While this is not a Q&A session, any inquiries or questions can be directed to me, Pat Myers, at pmyers@blendontownship.org. Each person will be called to the podium in the order listed on the sign-in sheet. Yielding of time to another person is not permitted. Respectful communication from the floor to the board to the floor is expected. And if the person is not able to comment during the 30-minute time period, again, you can reach out to me and send me an email at pmyers@blendontownship.org. And the first person on the list is Colin McGuire.
I just wanted to share my feelings about something that I recently learned about thanks to April posting stuff on the Facebook page, and maybe this is something that was planned to be addressed, but I just wanted to share my perspective on it. So I was recently made aware, thanks to April, that on June 18th, the Board of Trustees voted to extend, I believe, an existing ban on marijuana cultivation and dispensation from 2018 to the adult use that was recently approved on the November bill. I went and double-checked the results of the election for Blendon Township. Overall in the state, the marijuana initiative was approved with 57% of the vote. Affirmative in Blendon Township was approved with 68% of the vote. So this was a very popular initiative within the township. For that reason, I think that banning the specifically dispensaries within the township is sort of out of line with the interests of the citizens of the township, because this is something they voted for with overwhelming popularity. And so I just wanted to express my wish that the trustees would reconsider that decision and the initial ban in order to the kind of recorded interest of citizens. So,
Thanks, Colin.
Thank you.
April? Look.
Hey, so ditto what Colin said, and then also I just wanted to bring back up, Delana, your statement that you did an informal poll about the fireworks, and that's cute and all, but of all the other resolutions we voted on here, including the one on dispensaries, you have mentioned nothing about pulling any of the residents to give their opinion on that. So if you're going to start to make a precedent there, then and do it in a public forum, you better keep it going and do it with everything. You also mentioned the loudest voice. I don't know if I have the loudest voice or it's just the loudest voices in general, but when I'm speaking of fireworks, I am trying to be the loudest voice because I'm speaking also for the voiceless, not just for the people that they affect, but for all the animals, all the wildlife, all the things that you've heard us talk about so many times. A real leader, when given the proof that everyone here has been presented with about fireworks, about something that harms others, you would do everything you have in your power to ensure that that harm is stopped. You wouldn't just go up to people and say, are you having fun in doing that harm? You would stop it so that the harm is not committed to other people. There's ways to do this better. It's 2024, we don't have to blow things up to have fun. There are light displays, there are drones, there are simply hanging out with friends and doing stuff. I'm gonna keep on this until hopefully something happens with it. And I do still hope that during the trustee comments that maybe you will address why you voted to prohibit the dispensaries and talk about anything that might be coming up with the fireworks.
Thank you.
Timmy.
Yes, I'll be brief-ish. It's been a long week, and I really don't have much to talk to you about specifically. Sorry, I'm at 3558 Rankin Drive, and I'm Tim. A lot of people know me from online, the website, see me in the back of my head here writing stuff. I'm also very tall, so you've seen me in a crowd pretty easily. So the first thing I want to go over is on behalf of my wife, I want to thank kind of the PAC, everybody on it, the trustees for allowing us out here to go out and remove the invasive honeysuckle. There was a lot of education that had to take place in a really short amount of time because of when we were able to get on the schedule. She's obviously not here, so she can't do this. We were scheduled to be there for 3 hours. We were there for over 5. One of the trustees came out as well and spent, a good portion of the last hour with us, loading things as we were trying to get stuff on the truck to get it out to Hertz before they actually would stop allowing us to drop things off, which we did just sneak under that by about 10 minutes. And we had photographs. Some people saw those online. That is something that we will continue to do as we do this process so that people can see the difference in this. And I would encourage everybody, whether you're in this room, whether you're online, go to the park and just look. You can see the ridge in Ridgewood Park, and it's an awesome difference. We did a lot of fighting of all sorts of things in order to do this. We're not done, so there is another date scheduled currently. I want to make sure that everybody is aware of that on the 10th of August. Same time frame, 10 to 1. Please feel free to come out. We will be doing essentially the same thing with hopefully a little bit of improvement in how we deliver the material, because that was a back-end process of this that took a lot of time. And there is a rain date, so if for whatever reason that can't happen on the 10th, it will happen on the 11th from 1 to 3. I would encourage, if this is your first time to be there kind of at that starting point, because there is some education there for identification and some other things that we're going to fight in that area, and the next steps, so that you can be informed about what will happen next. Honestly, there's probably some other stuff that could be said here tonight based on other things that have happened. I don't have the fight in me this week. It's been a long week. Be better. I appreciate that you're approving projects, but don't take civic projects from people in the community. It's become a huge issue. We would like your support in this and not for you to take the light. That's where we're at right now. So, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
So that's the last comment, public comment. I will move on, if it's okay with you, Trustee Heickel. The Franklin County Soil and Water sent me an email today around 3 o'clock saying that they had made a mistake and were not able to schedule the person to be here for the annual update from them. We're going to put them on the September agenda. So I'll contact them and get that taken care of. So that is not going to be part of this evening's agenda. And that's good for me for now.
Thank you. We'll move on to trustee comments. I usually go first. How about we switch it up? You want to go first?
I do have a voice back, but I have a lounger, so please bear with me. I first want to thank the many residents who reached out to me in support of the decision the trustees made at last meeting to extend the marijuana dispensary moratorium in Blendon Township. While many may not be aware, the moratorium was passed previously in our township by resolution. It was brought up by a resident at the last meeting that we are missing out on revenue opportunities. What was not discussed are the possible negative factors. I was asked why I voted the way I did, so I'd like to present this to you. Please bear with me while I read the current host community's report. There's quite a few here.
In states where marijuana sales and use have been legalized, employers face increased use, reduced safety, reduced productivity, and legal confusion. More hospital calls from children eating marijuana or THC-infused gummies, cookies, and brownies. The number of adolescent marijuana-associated emergency department visits in Colorado, where it's been legal, increased significantly from 161 in 2005 to 777 in 2015, coinciding with the legalization in that state. Dispensaries have been associated with an increase in traffic accidents and arrests for driving under the influence in which marijuana was implicated. Increased calls, accident, and arrest places additional stress on local authorities. Residential fires have been caused by improper electrical modifications to facilitate marijuana cultivation. Many California cities with medical marijuana dispensaries have experienced an increase in crime associated with these dispensaries. Storefront dispensaries have been targets of violence, takeover-style armed robberies, and assault. Police from other jurisdictions have also reported an increase of burglaries at or near the dispensaries. Patrons going to or leaving medical marijuana dispensaries have been robbed for their cash and medical marijuana. Police agencies also reported increased loitering and public marijuana smoking in the vicinity of the dispensaries. Operators of medical marijuana dispensaries have been associated with a variety of illegal activities such as organized crime, illegal weapons sales, illegal drug sales, selling to minors, money laundering, and patrons buying marijuana legally, then walk outside to resell it illegally for less money. Neighborhoods and retail districts with medical marijuana dispensaries have reported an increase in noise, traffic, and other activity that negatively impacts neighboring land uses. Dispensaries have also had an adverse impact on neighboring businesses, including a loss of business as a result of the above-mentioned impacts. Two businesses neighboring a dispensary in Anaheim relocated because of problems associated with their dispensary. One left out of fear for the safety of their employees after the dispensary was robbed on numerous occasions. Another left because it could not find a solution for the marijuana smell permeating through a common wall with the dispensary. From 2017 to 2019, the Ohio Medicaid program paid for 54% of births in the state. Increased use of marijuana during pregnancy has the potential to increase Medicaid expenses in Ohio due to the potential for complications and associated costs. According to the Colorado Department of Transportation, after recreational marijuana was legalized in 2012, the number of fatalities and crashes in which drivers tested positive for THC rose from 18 in 2013 to 77 in 2016. However, if crashes, especially fatal crashes, were to increase in Ohio as a result of legalization, aside from preventable tragedy and societal impacts therefrom, there would also be a general fiscal impact to the Ohio economy. The CDC reported in 2018 that fatal crashes cost Ohio $17 million in medical costs and $1.67 billion in work lost costs. Law enforcement expenses may also increase if there are more serious traffic accidents requiring a response. In addition, Colorado experienced a 98.1% increase in marijuana-related calls to the Poison and Drug Center in the first year after marijuana was legalized. The increased level of calls continued with the next 3 years, representing 81.5%, 141%, and 152% increases in 2011, 12, and 13 respectively. That's open with the Ohio Department of Taxation, the Auditor of State, a local lobbyist for the Poison Control Center, and reviewed the Ohio Legislative Commission report. The feedback received to this point is that the language currently states that host communities would share in revenue, based on an early formula allowing for division of 36% of the 10% of retail sales of the dispensaries. The legislation is still in discussion on revenue share and nothing has been finalized at this point. Feedback received from these entities is that everything is still up for discussion, including the fact that revenue would be population driven as it pertains to each host community. Based on discussions thus far, it would appear that the possible revenue loss to our township quoted by a resident at the last meeting was grossly overstated. If we follow what other communities have done, we would undoubtedly be forced to hire more officers. The projected tax benefit would possibly not cover even a portion of the cost to hire one additional officer. This revenue stream is not projected to begin until 2026, based on dispensaries not being open until at least September of 2024. Before we as the board make decisions on any issues brought before us, each of us take the time to research and understand the issues. Regardless of our personal views, we make decisions for the betterment of the entire township. That is what we were elected to do. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Kathy, if you don't mind, I'll go next because mine follows that somewhat. I put together a statement about township business at a meeting, meaning motions, resolution, and voting, because I think there's some confusion with the residents. Since we're live streaming now, I think it's a good time to just go over that. So it's important to understand that any item on our agenda has been provided to the trustees before the meeting. The trustees take the opportunity to discuss each business item individually with the township administrator, the police chief, the service department director, the senior center director, whichever it's applicable to, and most importantly, to our legal counsel. If a trustee is not ready to vote on an item during the meeting, the item is removed from the agenda. That generally occurs because our legal team or vendor has not yet provided all of the requested information within the given time frame. In rare instances where something unfolds on the day of the meeting after the agenda has been finalized, the item in question could be tabled. So we don't act on anything until we've had opportunity to do our own research. When a motion is made and seconded and the chair asks the trustees if there's any discussion, it's important to note that this is not a group discussion on the item itself. Those conversations have already occurred individually between a trustee and Blendon's legal counsel or administrator prior to the meeting. So to address a resident's question on July 17, 2024 regarding the unanimous board vote to prohibit marijuana dispensaries and why we made that decision, I'm going to share with you why I made that decision. My decision was merely a continuation of two previous board actions on marijuana. The first was a moratorium. The other one was they were both actually resolutions. I will also explain other points on why I made that decision as I continue through my report. In 2017, former trustees Flaherty and Welch, along with myself, unanimously passed Resolution 2017-03, which imposed a moratorium on marijuana cultivation, processing, and dispensing in Blendon Township. Again in 2018, through Resolution 2018-04, the same trustees unanimously passed a resolution prohibiting medical marijuana cultivation, dispensing, and processing pursuant to Section 3796-29 of the Ohio Revised Code. I encourage all of you and our YouTube watchers as well to review the minutes from March 7th, 2018, where you will see the resolution, you'll see the call for the vote, and the absence of discussion. That is because of our prior individual research. As I previously mentioned, individual research and, in my case, conversations with the attorney occurred prior to the meeting. This vote of mine was not an expression of opposition to marijuana. I respect the voter's choice, and I clearly understand that marijuana usage was approved by the voters. My decision was based on the following recommendation of our attorney and the precedents that were set by the past two resolutions with me and previous board members. In addition, I need more time to review the current variance statements presented by the state. Our attorneys will actively study the current situation and make recommendations for their clients once the state has completed their decisions, which as of right now, they have not. Also, it's uncertain if Blendon Township even has a location that marijuana dispensaries would be permitted. According to the laws, dispensaries cannot be within a certain distance from schools, playgrounds, or child care centers and churches. This eliminates the Glengarry Shopping Center location completely. It also eliminates Sunbury Woods in the Kroger Shopping Center area. We have a small section of the township on Cleveland Avenue that might work. However, there was a child care center across the street, which is Columbus, and if that child care center is still there, those areas of the township would not be permitted. So I really don't know that we have a location that is within the proper distance from kids, schools, daycare centers, churches, playgrounds. Is there any other category, Pat?
Parks.
Parks, thank you. So regarding the revenue projections mentioned at the last meeting by a resident, I strongly disagree with the figures that were provided. Per our legal counsel, the state has not yet determined any funding that will go to townships. According to our attorneys, reading the state's verbiage is akin to reading a contract. It leaves the topic of funding wide open to changes. For those individuals expecting the township to potentially receive thousands of dollars is, according to our legal counsel, a very unrealistic expectation. And I also had support from residents regarding our actions after that was posted on Facebook, encouraging people to reach out to us, so they did. So in summary, it seems that there's been some misunderstandings on the new marijuana dispensaries and how the communities will benefit. I also feel there are misunderstandings regarding how township government functions. So moving forward, I will make it a priority to communicate more clearly during the meetings to prevent any future misunderstandings and assumptions. Thank you. Catherine?
I also had people reach out to me in support of our decision in the last meeting concerning marijuana dispensaries. My information showed the same basic results as those already shared by Trustees Heichel and Siamaco, so I won't reiterate facts that you've already just heard. I do want to reiterate, though, about how the two previous resolutions in 2017 and 18 did pass unanimously by the previous board. So moving on, as I posted on our township Facebook page, I want to thank the Parks Advisory Committee for their planned effort to remove invasive honeysuckle from the creek bank in Ridgewood Park. As was kind of mentioned, I couldn't be there the whole 3 hours last Saturday due to another commitment, but I did join the volunteers for an hour. I helped cut and pull honeysuckle and wild grapevine and load the trailer for hauling. And I want to thank all the volunteers, both from our committee and those from the community that were there that are not on our committee, that are helping to improve and preserve our township parks. In connection with that, I received the 2023 annual report from Franklin Soil and Water Conservation District since the last meeting, of which Blendon Township is a partner. Their mission is to promote responsible land use decisions for the conservation, protection, and improvement of soil and water resources by providing information and assistance. The community backyard program, a rebate program that was mentioned previously this year, that I talked about, where you could get reimbursed for a rain barrel or other things. They gave the report that they were able to reimburse county residents with a record-setting $97,765. So if you want to take part in that next year, watch for that, because there is real money going out for that. They also sold over 16,000 native plants in their annual tree and plant sale. And there's a lot of other facts and figures that you probably don't want to be bored with. But if anybody would like to see this report, I would be happy to either copy it or you can look at it tonight when the meeting's over.
And that's all I have.
All right.
Thank you. So we will move on to the fiscal report, and as I just stated, that I'm going to make an effort and make it a priority to communicate better so that people understand what we do, and I'm going to talk about the fiscal report and how that comes about. So the fiscal report, our fiscal officer, Joanne Burry, who of course is usually right here, and our fiscal officer assistant is Amy Rose. They prepare the bills, the purchase orders, and the bank reconciliations for the trustees to review. They provide all of the related invoices, reports, contracts, and any other relevant documents associated with each. The trustees visit the office multiple times during the 2-week period to review the documents, ask questions, and make sure that we fully understand the reports provided and what we will be approving. At the Board of Trustees meeting, when the board chair asked the trustees if they've had the opportunity to review the bills, purchase orders, and bank reconciliations, you now know the process that occurs before those items are approved and or paid. These practices with multiple layers of checks and balances were put into place when Joanne Burry was sworn in as our Blendon Township fiscal officer. So we will move on to the fiscal report, starting with the meeting minutes, and I'll ask my colleagues if you've had the opportunity to review the meeting minutes from July 17th, 2024.
Yes, and I will move to approve the trustee minutes as they now stand.
Now second.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the trustee meeting minutes from July 17th, 2024. Any discussion?
No.
All right, hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Yes.
Trustee Heichel?
Yes. Okay, we also have meeting minutes from July 25th. Did you have the opportunity to review those minutes, please?
Yes. And I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept those as presented also.
Now second.
And there is a motion on the floor and seconded for approving the meeting minutes from July 25th, 2024. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Yes.
Trustee Heichel?
Yes. Thank you. Moving on to the purchase orders, did you have the opportunity to review those?
Yes.
I'll go ahead and move to approve the purchase orders as presented.
Now second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the purchase orders as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Yes.
Trustee Heichel?
Yes. All right, thank you. So now Pat, we will move back to you.
To pay the bills.
Oh, sorry, got to pay the bills. Did you have the opportunity to review the bills?
Yes, and I will move to pay the bills as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion on the floor and seconded to pay the bills. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none?
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Yes.
Trustee Heichel?
Yes. So we are not doing the bank reconciliations, and I skipped right past the bills, my apologies. Okay, now we'll move on to Patty.
Thank you. Just a couple things. So first of all, as part of the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority group that we're part of, that's where we're insured for our general liability, our auto liability, auto physical damage, public official bonding, excess liabilities, property, all of our property, casualty, and liability insurance is through them. And it's an annual agreement. Last year, the agreement was $82,755 for the year. It insured everything that we basically own here, and a lot of other things. So it is time to renew that. The renewal came back with a 7% increase, which would have taken it to $88,915. I had a conversation with them. We were able to talk about implementing an OTARMA loyalty credit based on our, past with them. So they were able to reduce that by $7,061.62. that would have taken our total to 81,853.38, a slight decrease from last year. However, I did reach out to them, and it's my recommendation that we raise our limits from 5 million to 7 million. It adds an additional $2,178 for the total cost for the year, which would put us at $84,031.38, which would be a little less, about $1,400 more than last year, but adding $2 million in additional coverage on all the different items that we have. So it would be my suggestion that we do that, and that I have the approval to sign that renewal, which takes place August 10th of 2024. So I'd ask for a motion.
I'll move to approve the purchase order to the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority in the amount of $84,031.38 for the annual renewal of our property casualty and liability insurance for the plan year of August 10th, 24 to August 9th, 25. And to give you the authority to sign the renewal on behalf of the township.
I'll second that.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the Otarma Property Casualty and Liability Insurance Renewal as presented. Any discussion?
Thanks
Yeah.
for getting the reduction for us, and I think the increase is warranted.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same thing. Thanks for negotiating the credit, and appreciate your wisdom in suggesting the increase. So.
Call for the vote, please.
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Scheneberg?
Yes.
Trustee Heickel?
Yes. And thank you for that. I was going to explain to the folks what OTARMA, we commonly call it OTARMA, what that was, and Pat went through the whole thing. It does represent Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority. It is a governmental risk-sharing pool where the members are solely Ohio townships. They, as he said, they insure everything we have. So it might sound a little pricey, but when you put everything in there, it's
There's about 800 or so of the townships out of the 1,308, I think the number is now, are part of Otarma, which gives the buying power for us on helping us with that. Sticking with Otarma, a couple other things I was able to accomplish. I talked to Chief Miller. I submitted for a $1,000 fire grant, which we will get approved since I got that invoice. You spent like $24,000, but I'm gonna get you $1,000. So, I've already been approved on these, it's just a matter of me getting the invoice and we'll get it. So we'll get $1,000 for fire, with the grant that I work with Otarma on, it's offered to us. And on the police side, I'm gonna work with Chief to get a quote for trainings, upcoming trainings that may be needed or that are, people are scheduled to do. And we can get $1,000 to pay toward training costs for the police as well. So all I have to have is a quote for that, I don't have to have the invoice, just a quote for future training. It can be 1,000 or more, we just get 1,000. And then one more grant, it's called the MORE grant. I just said what MORE stands for. Hold on a second. I hate to tell you something, I don't know what it stands for. Anyways, the MORE grant allows us to get a $1,000 grant to cover such thing as OTA conference registration fees for next year, OTA education subscriptions for the magazine, and a couple other things. So I submitted us for $1,000 to cover all the registration fees and everything for the OTA conference for 2025, so we'll get that as well. So that's $3,000 we can use for those purposes. I should have that. She said if I get that stuff to her in the next week, we would get the money in September, following month. And that's managing Ohio risk exposures. Is what we're so, anyways, I just want to let you know that. I don't need any approvals or anything. Once we get the grants, you can accept them. Next, kind of another highlight for the Parks Advisory Committee. You know, the honeysuckle project they have put in place and working on. The trustees, you know, saying that was a great idea as well. They've done a lot of work there. The other thing that came up was the whole idea of compost exchange, and maybe April can help me here. Darian, pretty sure her name is Darian. The young lady that came and spoke to us. The young lady that came and spoke to us about this. The Parks Advisory Committee also said that they thought this was a great idea. They came and gave a presentation, and I believe I'm going to ask the trustees to approve a pilot program. I spoke with Darian this week. She's more than willing to try and kick something off September, maybe October. where we would do a 1-month pilot. It would be free charge to residents to try this. They'd get a bucket. I'd have all the details for you prior to that, but it would allow them to do the composting. And at the end of the pilot, then they would be offered the opportunity to sign up and do it at the cost of the resident, but they can continue that program. So what I'm asking tonight is that the trustees approve me implementing a composting pilot program on behalf of the PAC, the Parks Advisory Committee, with the compost exchange. That's what I'm asking. So if there's any questions, I can try and answer them. And if you guys would be so inclined to make a motion, that'd be great.
The fee after the month free trial, was it like $22
I think it was a little less than that. I think it was 20. And then it was like $7 or $8 if you took it somewhere and dropped it off, and you didn't want to do the actual pickup. But I'll have all those details for you at the next meeting, as far as, because I'm going to work directly with her to set up the program and all the details of the program.
I had a question about that too, because I went back and listened to the streaming of the meeting for presentation again earlier today, and she talked about that it could either be, she didn't say that it was gonna be set up as an opt-in program necessarily. She said it could be an opt-out or an opt-in, and my preference would be an opt-in, so that people all of a sudden don't receive a bill after the pilot program, thinking, well, I didn't sign up to continue it, so.
I think the message I got from her was opt-in, because they don't want to drop off 2,000 buckets and have 9,000 people go, I don't want that bucket.
I don't mean for the pilot program, I mean after the pilot
I mean,
program.
after that, right. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
I think she
in order-
said we had a
Well,
choice.
yeah, but she said that the township had a choice how we wanted it to be set up, because I went back and listened to it, so I just would.
Make sure it's opt-in.
Make sure it's opt-in.
Yep.
I agree.
Be the resident choice. So again, I think the pilot program will give an idea of the interests out there. We'll get that out in every, way we can, as far as, constant contact, Facebook page, everything, and I'll work directly with her to get the program in place. She thinks September, but she said, would it kill us to get to October because of the things she has to do? And I said, whatever makes sense for her. It's a 30-day pilot program, so that's what I'm
Would it make
asking.
sense to maybe have even a little link on our website?
We'll do all that stuff. We'll promote it as best we can and use her kind of expertise on that as well. There's a lot of information out there about it. But again, the details will come once I tell her, yes, the trustees are supportive or not supportive.
And well, based on that, if Jay, did you have anything?
I learned something when she came 2 weeks ago and said that this actually, when we put those kind of things in our trash and our waste, that it's not good for the environment. It's not good. And that's why they have this program. So she says, I read this, it says, help prevent climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions. That's what I was talking about when she said it's not good. It reduces landfill growth. It promotes a cleaner planet. I'm very excited about the idea, so yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. But you wanted to make the motion?
Yeah, based on the information and the discussion, I would move to approve implementing the pilot program with the compost exchange, and direct you, Pat, to work with them on the details for a September or October, hopefully start date.
I'll second.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the composting pilot program as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberg?
Yes.
Trustee Heigl?
Yes.
The only other thing I have is my recommendation, and I haven't really talked to you much about this. We're on our third meeting in 28 days, and we have another meeting scheduled next week, and it would be my recommendation that that meeting be canceled, and we'd be here on August 21st, which will keep us on track for that. We would end up having 4 meetings in 34 days or something, and we won't have the business to warrant doing that, other than stuff that could be tabled till the 21st. So it would be my recommendation that we not meet on the 7th and get us back on track to not having, 3 meetings in a less than a 30-day period. So I recommend that.
Okay, I was just gonna ask, but I think you answered, you don't have any business already scheduled
No,
for?
we don't have any large purchases or anything coming up. Matt and I looked at it, we don't have anything from the road departments coming up. So we would basically come back in 6, 7 days or whatever, 7 days from today, and probably just doing the fiscal report, what have you. Anything else that we're working on, wait till the 21st, and get us back on track. We would still have 26 meetings in a year. So with short how many meetings we'll have in a year.
Based on his recommendation, I will move to cancel the August 7th trustee meeting.
I'll second.
And there's a motion on the floor and seconded to cancel the August 7th trustee meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Yes.
Trustee Heichel?
Yes. And then, Pat, would you direct Taylor to update the calendar on the website, please?
Yep.
Okay,
Got it.
thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay. You don't have anything for human resources for this
I do not.
evening?
No.
Okay.
John's gone.
Yeah, and today was John's last day.
3:30 today, he drove off in a non-Blendon Township vehicle. So he's leaving for Florida Monday. So here we are, man.
You got this.
Okay, so maintenance, if you don't mind, Matt, I'll share this, but you may need to help me. We just received a call today from Franklin County who will be surfacing roads. They're going to start tomorrow doing La Paz, Brazzaville, and Spawn. It will be tomorrow through August 8th, right? And they're going to resurface. So they may have put signs on your road that says no parking. That's what's happening. So they'll get in as quickly as they can and get out and get your new road surface. Sorry for a late notice, but they told us they would try to let us know it further in advance next time, which they usually do. Do you have anything else for us, Matt? Okay, let's move on to our police chief.
Next Tuesday, August 6th, is National Night Out from 6 to 8 p.m. Posted on our Facebook account that if everybody's having a gathering and would like to stop by, we've heard from several residents so far. Police officers and the fire department will be stopping by. Calls pending don't preclude us participating, but we've asked anybody else who just decide at the last minute to host an event, let us know, we'll stop by. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Chief Miller.
I just want to share with the board, we, in the last week, purchased a new medic. It's taking about 2 to 3 years for us to get a medic right now. One of the vendors had one that was a demo coming off the line, and we were able to procure that. So we canceled one of the other medics we had on order. The other thing is, our medics are painted red. This one came in white. So we're in the process right now of seeing about getting it wrapped to match the rest of our fleet. And we also have to get the radios and the cot system installed. So it should be going to Station 112 just up the road here and serving residents of Westerville and Blendon. So just wanted to pass that along. It was an opportunity. Fortunately, we were able to move on it pretty quick. But all of our vehicles, I also will be plan on ordering a new engine 112 next year. And I'm being told it'll take 3 to 4 years before we'll see it. So I'll be ordering it now, so we can get it when it's due to be replaced in our fleet schedule. So
All right,
that's all I got for tonight. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, announcements. I shared about the La Paz, Brazzaville, and Spawn. The only other announcement we have is, of course, one meeting has been canceled. Our next meeting is August 21st, 2024, same time, which is 6:30, same place, which is here, and also live stream. So being no further business before the board, it is 7:16, and I will move to adjourn the meeting. Okay, motion on the floor and seconded to adjourn the meeting at 6:16 p.m. Call for the vote, please.
Trustee Siamaka?
Yes.
Trustee Shinneberry?
Yeah.
Trustee Heichel?
Yes. Thank you, and the meeting's now adjourned.